than you think.
Yep.
And I had disagreed because I said, one, Buddha was not trying because he didn't want to kill Zero.
Uh-huh.
Because if Buddha had tried, he would have killed Zero, which was not his intention, which I could see why you thought they were close in power because of that. But I also could not take that into account because he wasn't trying. I
Yeah,
said,
okay.
my second.
Here. I'm sorry. You want to, because I
Or
was just gonna like clarify it because I don't want you to just like make an argument for something that I never stated, okay?
Yeah, I said my second counter argument was if they
Well,
were
wait. Hold up. When we debate, we go point by point. So I don't want you to string along like multiple points. So let's just stick to this one point, okay?
all right. Well, I
Okay.
was saying because my second point kind of tied into my first point.
Well, that's fine. Well, then that will just be a sub point that we'll go over. But the first point that you made was he wasn't trying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And all I would simply have to say is that's fine. It doesn't like disregard my argument. I'm not
Which I
saying like, oh, I'm not saying that Zero could go blow for blow with a bloodlusted I forgot what path exactly. No.
for Petra.
Prada. There we go. Prada path. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying physically they're relative.
I mean, I can agree, but I also cannot because
Sure, you
if
could give your contention.
if you looked at if you looked at the battle,
Uh-huh.
or I would count Buddha's future sight as a physical stat because he needs to see, and I would
I'd
also,
say that's like a hack.
I mean, not
And we
really because he needs to see, so it's kind of like he can't see
well
using
okay,
that.
I'll just let
So,
you say your justification then.
so like my thing is he can't see without using that, so it's kind of a physical stat because it's kind of like built into him as he became a god. And I would say that Misery Cleaver would also technically be kind of a physical stat because the more Misery Zero has, the stronger that Cleaver becomes, so it is directly tied to him. And I would,
Okay, and
so I disagree with them being
okay.
close
Just let
physically.
me know when you're done.
Okay, yeah, I would disagree with them being remotely close physically because Buddha was able to push that Cleaver back with basically no resistance after blocking
Okay.
it.
And my argument would be he doesn't need future. It's not like some passive ability that he's just gonna have at all times. He could very well see and react without his eyes. Just take a look at Hajun's fight. He did it without future vision. So it's easy to just handicap Buddha for it.
I mean, my thing though is if I handicapped Buddha with that, I feel like I would have to handicap Zero without Misery Cleaver.
I don't see why, because I'm just saying that his like future vision is a hack, and I'm saying that like if we're gonna be restricting Zero's weapon, then I'll restrict Buddha's six paths. But I'm not. I'm letting him keep the paths that he showed
Well,
up
I
to
mean,
that fight.
if we want to restrict both, that's fine because we did see a little bit of a fist fight between them, and when
Well,
Zero.
that's fine, but like that's not what I'm implying. I'm just saying, and I'm gonna be going off of these two scans. Go look in scan chat real quick. Right here. Real close combat. Buddha and Fuku are trading swipes, and now they are equal. And then I know what you're saying. Oh, but he says no, thanks to his future vision. Which is why that's the entire.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where it's equal, but like,
Mhm.
I feel like Buddha would be faster than Zero enough to where he would not take significant damage.
But we don't know that at this time frame yet because we only know that he dodges with future vision. As you said, and I'm going to keep you to this argument is you said that he's using it at all times. So I'm saying that without it, how would he dodge his attack? So it's an unknown variable.
Which is rough with debates because you like I with debates you can't really go off of unknown variables because it's
It's an
like,
assumption.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an assumption. That's why it's so hard to like debate with what if he didn't have future sight because from what I realized is that he was using it at all times because the reason why he was struggling against Hajin was because he couldn't see Hajin, he saw black. So it's kind of like you can't say that he wasn't if he didn't use it because you don't know what would happen. So it's kind of just like it's so up in the air with that. It's like tossing a jump ball and seeing who gets it.
Yeah, and all we have is this statement that they're equal. Then the only thing that's giving Buddha the edge at that time is future vision. That's all I'm going off of. Any contention? Because I'm restricting you to this specific variant of Buddha.
Well, I mean, if we're restricting to that specific variant of Buddha, I can see where they are technically close
Relative or equal. Yeah.
relative, but the problem is also at this point they did not know Buddha's full power.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't need to know his full power. Again, I'm restricting you to this Buddha, whatever he's shown.
Well, then that's rough too, because I mean, technically speaking, the Buddha that fought Hajun and the Buddha that fought Zero are technically the same Buddha, so it's like they may look relatively close, but they would still technically not be relatively close.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'm not saying that like, oh, this Buddha. I'm just saying that this Buddha, which I'll give it to you. He's definitely suppressed. I think they made that pretty evident. And I'm saying that yeah, sure, the Buddha that fought Hajun is the same Buddha. It's just with different levels of suppression.
Okay, so I don't have scans on me, but I can counter argue on the Zero thing saying that they're close. So
Okay.
Bishamonten was the
hmm
fighter that sent out.
hmm
So Bishamonten is probably the weakest god on the roster of the 13, and he had
mm
fuse into Zero. So I don't think Zero would technically be close to Zeus. And before the battle, Buddha was going to throw down with Zeus if Zeus wanted to.
Yeah, I'll just say that that would be a full power Buddha.
I mean, I
And
guess.
to be fair, that's not even a full power Zeus. It's like the borderline like anorexic, almost dead Zeus.
Oh my god, you're not wrong.
Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, I kind of just like cornered you to just only using this variant of Buddha, which is it's pretty impossible to argue your way out of, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, because it's so hard to.
It's gonna require some assumption.
Yeah, I mean, your argument required assumption too. It's both of our arguments are like requiring assumptions, basically.
Yeah, and it just comes down to like who could argue it better. And
Yeah,
I mean, if you have like a contention, it's
I
fine.
mean,
I'll hear it.
we can go on to the second point. I mean, like you showed the panel of like Zero grazing his cheek, and I was like, well, if they were close in power, I mean, if we're gonna continue on my variant of Buddha, I mean, even with Misery Cleaver, at this point, Zero was a lot stronger than when
Oh
he was
yeah,
at the beginning of the
boot.
fight.
Not boot. I was gonna say zero. Yeah, zero amps himself, and it's like exponential too.
Yeah, so like even with after all that amping and exponential, Buddha only got grazed. Like he dodged it enough to only get grazed. I can't get past that because it's kind of like even if Zero had like boosted himself exponentially up to that point and could only muster a graze to the face and a graze to the cheek, were they really that close in the first place?
And now I'll propose to you two things. Either two answers to that preponderance, and it's either one, Buddha just continuously got stronger with him because he said it himself. I want to help you control your puberty. Or two, future vision.
Well, I mean,
It could.
I can argue against the puberty part because I don't think Buddha changed his power. Because if he had changed his power, he probably would not have got hit there. But I can
I mean,
tech,
to be fair, like it was unexpected.
yeah. So like, I don't think he changed his power. I think he still had the same power. I just think it was an unexpected kind of thing that he barely missed.
Oh yeah, and by the way, that's a later zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like looking at the fight. It's a later zero.
I mean,
But yeah.
but you did use that scan when you made the argument on Reddit. So
I normally just post randoms because I don't want to put my actual argument scans on Reddit.
yeah, which is understandable, which is understandable.
Hmm.
Like, but my thing is just like going off of that scan and given how after all that buffing, he could only muster a graze.
I don't even would I even be considered a graze? Like,
I mean,
I don't know, to be
I
honest.
mean, I think it's either in like the next panel or a few panels after that. They say that he grazed his cheek. I mean, if
I
I'm
mean,
not,
it's kind of like the like, do you remember the Thor versus Lubu fight? How like
yeah,
Thor threw the hammer and it like I guess burned or like grazed Lubu's skin. It could be like that. It could be a graze. It could be a burn. Who knows? To be honest.
I mean, it's rough to know because it's kind of just like it depends on how close it was, you know.
Hmm.
But like the puberty statement, I don't feel like Budo changed his power. The future
Because
sight, I
it
can't
just
see
comes down to like it comes
the
down to just three different interpretations. Either one, you think it's the same Buddha, which mm,
technically it is because he didn't like lose future sight. He just couldn't use it because Hajin was dark. Um, so
I mean,
tech,
you could always just argue that he actually is a bit stronger because look at the weapon he's using and compared to like he changed weapons. If you think changing weapons makes him stronger, then I
well, I
guess.
mean, it's technically the same thing with Buddha. Like his weapons made him stronger because he could just counteract everything that was going on.
Yeah, he has a versatile weapon. So does Zero, to be fair,
Yeah,
surprisingly.
and that's why like I say they were never really close because even with all of Zero's versatile weapons, Buddha had them too. So it's kind of like they were still technically on an equal playing field if we go by that logic. But Buddha was still immensely stronger than Zero the entire time. He was just suppressing himself.
Yeah, and then I'm just saying that that suppressed Buddha is relative to Zero.
Oh,
That's
that's
fine.
the art. If you were
That
talking
that's
that,
been my entire. That's why I'm saying like it doesn't matter like any external like force. Like yeah, bro, full
I
power Buddha is
fucking read
gonna
that
blow
wrong.
Zero
I
out of the.
fucking read that wrong on Reddit. That is my bad.
It's all good. And I'm just gonna assume you're not gonna use the Hajun argument because it just kind of doesn't apply either.
Well, I mean, it could apply, but it also couldn't. It just depends on how you view it. Because I mean, like Buddha starting against Hajin was technically around the same power that Buddha was ending Zero, so it's kind of like they were still kind of equal before Hajin got stronger. So
I mean, like if it comes down to that, I don't really exactly have like I stopped exactly at 48, so like right when Zero got knocked out by Buddha.
mhm.
But I know what you're talking about, and I'd probably just argue that if I'm not mistaken, he acknowledges that like future vision won't work on him. So
Yeah,
he'd probably put up his guard a little, at least a little bit more,
I
because
mean, no,
he's not expecting.
it's not that he was on guard. It's that he was actually frightened. Buddha was scared at that moment because he couldn't use it. It's kind of like he always had it, he just couldn't use it.
Honestly, I don't think that Buddha would actually show fear. I think it's more like a surprise, like just like oh wow, I can't use my eyes.
I can't use
That's
my eyes. Like I can't. He basically was saying like I can't see as like that was something physical with him. Like I cannot see.
well, like
Yeah,
he could definitely see because you know he saw his attacks coming, but like he just can't see his soul.
yeah. Like he couldn't. Like he could still see, but the problem was he still couldn't. He couldn't see like the way that.
The intention behind his attack. Therefore, he couldn't see or read his movements.
Yeah. So, I mean, but still, technically speaking, he got future sight when he became a god. So
Yeah.
technically speaking, it would be a physical stat. So technically,
Here, like I just let me look at it. Uh, I wonder just whose life I was saving. Everything I had was handed to me. He gets like a moment of enlightenment. I've got it. Enlightenment. And
Well,
then it shows his eyes.
there's
And it shows
also
his normal eyes.
there's two forms of enlightenment.
Okay.
So it depends on which enlightenment they're talking about, because there's two forms of it.
I guess it's just Buddha's method of enlightenment. I
So
guess.
that would be the first of two, because Buddha still technically had two. So that'd be the first of two.
I don't even know what you're like saying right now.
So if we're talking about the Buddha that fought Zero, that was the first enlightenment, so they could technically be relative in power. But if we're going off the second one of when he was fighting Hajun and he was on the ground and almost died, which achieved the second one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I know what you're. Well, is that a? Oh, okay. I actually know. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's fine. Honestly, when it comes to like just physical attributes, um, like a better way to counter it, like, or at least the argument would be like, hey, if you think that Buddha's eyes is a hack and it's just like a physicality thing, you probably just like limit the misery cleaver's like actual hack, not the weapon itself, just the hack part,
Yeah, I mean,
which
it's
means
it,
like stopping the limiting, just limit his misery.
it's weird because it's like if you like stop Buddha's future sight, you have to stop the misery cleaver because it's like you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, but like, I never said that as like a president of the debate, and I
Yeah,
never agreed to it. So it's like, yeesh.
we kind
Good
of
talk
cornered
though.
we kind of cornered ourselves.
I mean, yeah, because like I knew what you were gonna come in here with, and I was like, dude, this guy's just not gonna, he's just not gonna expect my argument. I know he's gonna try to say like either some external power, or he's gonna try to show feats from outside of that fight. I'm gonna be like, well, you see, I'm using this Buddha, this specific Buddha. Good talk though.
Yeah, it was a
We
good
kept
talk.
it civil.
Yeah, we did keep it civil. Like at least we didn't argue. I mean, calm debate. I'll take it.